A left hand partially blocked by De La Hoya.
Emmanuel Stewart tells us from the De La Hoya corner that De La Hoya's decision not to sit down at the end of round one was an impulse, nothing pre-planned. He simply got back to the corner and said, I don't want to stool, I don't want to sit down.
Left uppercut sends Camacho flying again.
Well, when you're fighting a young fighter like De La Hoya, you want to make sure he starts doing a lot of things he ordinarily would not do. Don't sit on the stool, drop your hand, taunt, anything to make that young fella get out of his game plan. Macho is 35. These old warriors can think.
And it goes without saying that De La Hoya takes a certain chance if he expends a lot of energy in the first 2 or 3 rounds, swinging wildly in search of a knockout.
No, he starts to hesitate by trying to land one good one like he did the first round. Before you know it, 5 rounds have gone by, and the Macho Man's get more confident.
De La Hoya wants to fight with fury. He said, no more chess matches with southpaws. I did too much of that with Whitaker. He doesn't want to be drawn into a tactical battle with Camacho. He wants to overwhelm him with power and intensity.
That's truly not the way to do it. You want to jab him with a big left hand, step back a little bit, and make Camacho commit himself. You don't want to be the thorough aggressor.
But why jab with a left hand against a guy who's just going to block it with his right?
It's not going to block it if you just go on and don't hesitate. Just jab. Remember,
Macho holding, and the crowd responds.
The southpaw, if you stand in your position, it's an unorthodox position for him also.
Camacho doesn't run or grab quite as much as he used to, but it's hard to turn a gazelle into a lion.
You're giving him a little too much room. You're fighting exactly the fight that we don't want to fight, okay? You got to pick up your pace. You got to start working your jab. You're giving him a little too much room. That round could have went either way, to be honest with you, okay? You had to get pressure on him. You got to pick up the pace. Don't look for no one shot. Look like you're trying to set back, waiting on one big shot to catch him with. Just start putting them together the same way you was in training. See, just stay waiting on one big shot is no good. Just start putting them together. Working your jab, working your jab. You got to pick up your pace on this guy. Otherwise, he coaches him right into the groove that he wants.
Let me tell you, he's starting to fold here a little bit. He's starting to do some amateur things. Keep your hands up, keep your head moving, and stay low. Okay, you make him work. Make him work. Make him work. You're doing it.
When you hear the corner telling Camacho to make Oscar work, I believe it's their belief that Oscar will get tired in the second half or the third of the fight if they can keep him busy.
Well, they believe his punch output drops in the latter stages of the 12-round fights, and they pointed out that it happened against Miguel Angel Gonzalez earlier this year. It wasn't necessarily the case against Whitaker, where the punch output dropped in the middle rounds, but then Oscar was able to rebuild his tempo in the later rounds.
Let me tell you, this is exactly the kind of fight De La Hoya didn't want to get into with Macho.
That's what Emmanuel Stewart told him between rounds. He didn't mince any words with the fighter.
And it's hard to control a young fighter. You tell him what to do, then the next time you demand that he go out and do what you say and stop fighting his own fight. Emmanuel Stewart wants De La Hoya, set it up with your left jab. Take your time. The punches will come. The jab is going to do all the harm. De La Hoya is not even paying any attention to a left jab at this point.
He's pawing with the jab. He's trying to land straight rights and left hooks.
Yeah, but meanwhile, George, I don't see Camacho landing anything.
But he's landing the most important thing, time. The more relaxed, more time goes by, it turns into a show. And
well,
that's what Camacho wants.
You can finish that way, but somehow you got to score at some point. So you're thinking that De La Hoya might run down enough that Camacho can score more in the latter stages of the fight?
Camacho is not interested in scoring this fight. He's going to let this guy get some of the steam out and start clocking him. He's as much interested in a knockout as De La Hoya.
Punch to get out. Punch. Don't hold it.
Whenever you're able to land a jab against a taller opponent, nothing but confidence starts to happen.
Great right hand lands for an uppercut, I should say, lands for De La Hoya.
And that hurt Camacho.
Round 3, and while Camacho may have gotten into De La Hoya's head, he still hasn't done a lot of damage with his gloves. De La Hoya landing solid shots here and there, finding it difficult, as was the case against Whitaker, to land combinations, but fighting more with ferocity.
Good body punches by De La Hoya.
Excellent.
That's what you want to do when you're fighting an old experienced fighter. You go down to his body to make sure you keep a lot of that steam out of him in the latter rounds.
Watch your head, don't hold him.
Yeah, I'm by no means an expert like you, George, but I'm not sure the left jab will work all that well. I think the body shots could build up a lot of capital for De La Hoya as the fight goes on.
Left jab always works. You just got to believe in it.
Camacho isn't putting the slightest dent into De La Hoya.
Just relax. Okay, you're fighting with one hand. You're fighting with your left hand. Let's let both hands start going now. Both hands go. When he gets close, you're going very defense. You're going defense. He's throwing a couple shots and you're parrying him. You blocked him 2 punches. When he's on tight on you, come back hard with both hands, Hector. You understand? He's coming to you. Let's use your experience. You've been there. Sucker this guy in. He wants to keep coming and leaping. Go to him.
Just suck it in and spit it out until you get fucking bumped.
Keep that pressure on him all the way.
The champion on the attack. A good left uppercut inside, a body shot.
And just missing short with the left hook. Once again, between rounds, De La Hoya refusing to sit down. He's only spent 40 seconds on the stool now out of an allotted 3 minutes.
He's just very excited, very determined that he wants to win this fight, put some hurt on Camacho. None of this was planned, obviously. He's just as eager as I've ever seen him, Jim.
Yep. Will that eagerness be a plus or a minus? We'll see as the fight develops.
All the pluses so far are for the champion. And all that Camacho is giving us is a lot of movement, pity-pat punches. He's giving us the illusion of fighting back. He really isn't fighting back.
In case you're interested in the content of some of Hector Camacho's constant bluster.
Good straight left hand by Camacho.
He said before the fight that he expected to stop De La Hoya in 4 rounds or less. Incidentally, De La Hoya wagered $200,000 against the chance to cut off Hector's forelock that he can win the fight.
Camacho is effectively using his straight right jab, and whenever he wants to, he's able to land that a straight right jab and throw that straight left hand. Good body punch.
Right-left combination by De La Hoya. Camacho leaps back in with a jab. Camacho trying to time his jab now to take advantage of De La Hoya's rhythm. He lands a left as he steps in.
Good.
Now De La Hoya uses the jab to set up a left to the body.
That Oscar De La Hoya has a lot of firepower, and whenever you got tactics like Camacho, that power seems to interfere. It makes you say, well, maybe I shouldn't do this, that, and the other. And look for Camacho's jab.
I think De La Hoya is always at his best when he remembers to punch to the body, and he's done that here in round 4.
Good straight left hand by Camacho again.
Camacho getting much more aggressive in this round.
You see De La Hoya take a backward step, and you're going to see a different fight.
Do you think Camacho believes at this point that he's tasted De La Hoya's power?
Not at all. He doesn't want to taste anymore, but I can tell you that. But you want a puncher to follow you around. You make him empty out his bottle, fall into the rope, things of that nature. But you got to catch him when he misses.
De La Hoya getting better at cutting off the ring.
He's following Camacho around. He's just following him around. You don't want that.
Is that because of the eagerness?
Yeah, he's eager, and you can run right into a straight left hand. Once Camacho keep his feet on the outside of De La Hoya's left foot, he's going to run right into one of those hard straight lefts by Camacho.
Body shots by De La Hoya to punctuate round 4. 4 rounds in, and the battle has been joined by Camacho.
Remember, don't blow your nose.
How you feeling? Okay, just keep the same tempo going.